What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the UFC on ESPN Plus 5 post-fight show brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com, the two best fucking websites in the world to get your mixed martial arts news. My name's Flying Brian J, your host as usual, and my co-host as always, Ricky Ketchup, Mr. Positivity,
Hey.
Black Fabio, the Eddie Mercado, and an editor from BloodyElbow.com, Zane Simon. What's up,
Thanks
guys?
for the great fucking intro. Jesus, what do I gotta do to get a fucking nickname around here that doesn't suck?
You gotta get a gray shirt, man.
Hey, wait a minute. You have Big Daddy Zane? Like
No, we didn't.
In,
No. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
in Zane in the membrane?
See,
Ooh.
this is what I'm talking about. We gotta move to something like Black Fabio, Ricky Ketchup. These names have snap. They have pop. People
have
want to say
pizzazz.
that. Nobody wants to say.
Big
No,
Daddy Zane
I-
is good and you know it. Big
I
Daddy
don't,
Zane
even
is good.
I can't make myself say that.
Well, you should never be saying your own nickname.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
That's true, I guess. Well, we're here to talk about UFC Fight Night 147, not just a fun nickname for Zane. And
Don't anybody try to come up with one either. I don't want to hear that.
actually, in the comment section, please make up a Zane nickname for Zane, Simon, and we'll
Add
just
him. Add him on Twitter. At the Zane Simon. Come up with the best nickname possible. The winner will get their pick announced on the show next week. How about that?
There we go. Make it on the lines of like Bobby Knuckles or Chucky Olives, that sort of thing.
Next week, we spend a half hour reading homophobic slurs.
Oh. Well, let's hope not. Let's talk about something that's really, really awesome. The main event of this fight card ended with Jorge Gamebred Masvidal knocking out Darren the Gorilla Till in the second round with a gigantic overhand left, followed by another left behind it. Zane, I listened to the vivisection. You said it was possible that Till could get hit this way. Were you surprised by the finish, and what's your overall thoughts of the main event?
Oh yeah, I'm still surprised by the finish. I mean, Masvidal is infamous for getting into these slow-paced back and forth, just kind of, matching his opponent's work rate, his range, all that. Especially with fighters that aren't really pushing him. And to credit Till, he started fast too. I think that probably is what actually drew that out of Masvidal. He even said it in the post-fight speech where he's like, he knocked me down and he knocked me on his ass and I wanted to kill him. And I think like that's what Masvidal needed, and maybe to Till's own, his own discredit, his idea of improving his output and getting better on the front foot made it that much easier for Masvidal to get in the fight and start throwing his own volume back. So I was surprised. I thought Till would be able to just kind of manage a low output fight where he's just too big and too funky for Masvidal to catch up with.
Eddie,
It was
what are your
fucking
thoughts?
nuts. I think it's fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah.
I thought if Masvidal was going to win, it was going to be a submission and maybe
Yeah.
even a decision. Because, I mean, that dude can take the fight the distance, He's good at that. He's known for that. He's not really known for, like, coming up with this crazy fucking Mortal Kombat brutality combination. Like, I swear to God, the screen went dark and it said, finish him. And he threw this fucking bananas-ass combination that's like it's like you step in with the right, leap in with the left, and he threw this a right hook, left hook that landed, and then a follow-up punt. Like, dude, where the fuck has he been this whole time? Maybe he should have taken more time off throughout his career, because holy shit did he come back on fire. This
Yeah.
is insane. And I'm such a Masvidal fan. Like, I've been one since back in the Kimbo Slice days, and he was street fighting dudes like 50 pounds heavier than him. Like he's such a through and through fighter. And like it's nice watching him mature, like even as a person, since from then being kind of like a street guy to now being more of a family man. Like, I mean, what's not to love about Masvidal? Like, he's
Maybe on that note too, maybe that's what Till brought out of him. He's like, got a dude in here who's like 50 pounds heavier than me, he's talking all this shit at me, and it was just like flashback straight to the street, backyard, got the chain link fence there.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what it was. It was that first cross that landed that knocked Masvidal down and knocked him back into that state. And he got
That's
like,
right.
"No, fuck this. I'm the alpha here." And like,
Just got a couple of pit bulls like barking at him from the sidelines, and
yep. Jesus piece chain swinging everywhere.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kimbo Slice.
Yeah, absolutely. But this was incredible, and I love to see it because I know Masvidal. They booked him against Nick Diaz,
Yeah.
allegedly. Nate
Nick.
Diaz.
Yeah,
And like I
supposedly.
was bummed he didn't get that fight because I feel like if you're fighting Nate Diaz now, that's a money fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of bummed he didn't get that. So seeing him get this fight, I thought was pretty damn cool, and to see him come up with that kind of spectacular finish, I think it does wonders for the division. It solidifies him as one of the elites, even though he's been away since November of 2017. Like the dude is still phenomenal, and everyone forgot about him. And so what a great way to be like, hey motherfuckers, remember me? So I want to see him at the top. Let him fight for the belt.
Well, I don't think he's going to be fighting for the belt, especially not right now, because his buddy is about
It's
to get.
true. If Covington wasn't his BFF, I would agree, but I don't think he probably even himself wouldn't try to step in line ahead of Covington.
But
Yeah.
no one has I can't think of anyone who has had a performance worthy of a title. This is a title
Yeah.
shot worthy performance.
It
Like,
is.
there's no one can do anything more spectacular than that to get to a title shot, in my personal opinion, or no one has thus far. And like I honestly don't think anybody will. So I love Colby Covington. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
am
know
a
what you're
Colby.
saying, but yeah.
I like Colby Covington, the fighter. You know,
Yeah.
he's doing his shtick. I ain't mad at him. He's getting fucking paid. He's getting notoriety. He's going full heel. Fine. But like he really is a wet blanket, and like his style is not a lot of fun to watch unless you have money on him. So let Masvidal get the title shot. He's the OG. He's the veteran. Give him the fucking title shot. I said it.
Yeah.
I don't think
Nah.
he's going to get it though. So let's. Ben Askren was there for a reason. I think it was mostly to fight Darren Till. That's probably
No
not going to
reason
happen.
now.
Yeah, no reason. But let's have him fight Masvidal. In one of Ben Askren's tweets, he said, "Hey, I'm mostly talking shit to Darren Till, but hey, Masvidal, you suck too." So,
Masvidal does. I don't even think it's a necessarily like, oh, I'm worried about Ben Askren out wrestling me them, but Masvidal doesn't want that fight. Like,
He trains with Colby Covington every day. Like he's not looking for that.
I don't think anybody themselves. I don't think any of the fans are like looking for Askren Masvidal themselves, are they?
yeah, probably
Like,
not.
I want to see Maya versus Askren. That's the fight I want to see.
Yep.
You know,
Or Covington.
or Covington. Yeah, Covington Askren. Those interest me. I don't Masvidal Askren. Doesn't make no.
The Just Bleed in me says Robbie Lawler, Jorge Masvidal. Let's do it.
Sure, but they're also like OG training partners, good
Oh.
friends.
ATT guys, yeah.
All right, Major Zane.
I'm sorry.
I like Major Zane. That's good.
I think it was Marcus McGahee in the comment section came up with Major Zane. So,
Okay,
props.
well,
That's
I
pretty.
can live with that. I heard it, and I didn't immediately like my face didn't immediately drop like the oh god. So
Yeah, we'll go with it. All right,
we'll
Major.
ride with it.
Let's talk about the entire fight card beyond the main event. We're going to go. Remember when we first started doing the show together and I said, give me a rating, whatever you want to give it. 1 to 20, you give it 3 coconuts, whatever you want to give it. Zane, what would you give this entire day of fights on your own scale?
6.
Out of?
Easy out of the gate. It's in the fucking morning to midday. I didn't have to stay up all night for it. B, had a fantastic, amazing fucking knockout in it in the main event. And that's all that matters. Like, honestly, if you're giving me my MMA in the midday, you're giving me a highlight KO to top it all off. Everything else can be whatever it is. Like, the rest of it's not that important to me.
Makes a lot of sense. How about Mr. Positivity?
I hate London cards for the simple fact they fuck up my entire day. So from like 1 p.m. to like it's 7:30 p.m. now, that's my whole fucking day. It's like,
See, for me, I'm out on the West Coast. It's like 4 right now, you know?
yeah. So like that sucks for me, but like the fights were okay. There were some funny moments that like shit show moments early on where I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? And then it was capped off by just sheer excellence and just everything that anyone ever watches this sport for. And that's brutality, brutal finishes, particularly when it comes to the stand-up. And that's exactly what we got. I love seeing Masvidal return. So what would I give this? Let's give it a 7.776.
Ooh.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Hey, that's a pretty good score. That'd pass in college.
Like for what for Zane, what he said about how it capped off in a spectacular fashion. Had it not ended that way, it would have gotten a lot lower of a score. But let me shout out Vic Rodriguez real quick from Bloody Elbow. He just tweeted me, I hope the Eddie Mercado gets confused for Masvidal on the streets of London and gets all the love. So shout out to Vic for calling him my doppelganger, because we both got the hair going and some facial hair. Except,
there you go. You gotta get that real, like, he's got that beard that's like out to fucking here. That thing's a brick on his face.
Yeah, I like to keep mine shorter though. Keep it trimmed for the ladies.
That probably helped Masvidal absorb that big left early on from Darren Till.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost cheating. So we've been doing it for 11 minutes. Zane, do you want to do a what the fuck, or do you want to get out of here?
No. Let's do a what the fuck. Honestly, my what the fuck has got to be that Danny Roberts submission.
Really?
Like, I realized he kept putting himself in trouble all fight. I realized the arm bar was close, but it sounded like when I was listening to the audio, like even when they were playing it, it sounded like he kind of let out like 3 or 4 sort of like short little like yells while he was like over the course of while he was getting out of it all the way through, and I don't hear anything specific, like more specific than that, as it was like when the ref stepped in. So I still really just have no idea what the ref was seeing.
I think that might go to like what goes on in the locker room before the fights when the ref's speaking to him, and he's like, so if you're in this situation and you're in a submission and I hear you
Scream.
verbally, I'm going to stop the fight. So
yeah, but that ref was super fucking edgy all fight.
No, he was. But it brings me back to Joe Warren when he lost his Bellator title to Marcos Galvao.
Yeah.
Galvao caught him in the knee bar. Warren didn't tap. He just kind of screamed out, and the ref stopped the fight. And it's like, you're yelping. It's like,
the Warren one felt way more obvious, and like I got like this
scream.
Yeah, this felt like for Roberts, like I said, it was kind of like he was kind of like letting out these loud like noises. I thought when I heard it back, and I'm not sure about this, but it sounded like I heard him like make these like sort of noises all throughout the sub, like he was trying to like fight it out or something, and he was just trying to like it didn't sound like anything in particular that I heard that was so over the top. But at the same time, I mean, I get why the ref was doing it. It just the way the ref like stepped in on other stuff and like took Silva out of an arm bar position because Robert illegally wall walked to it, and and like was warning them about glove grabbing or something that nobody else could see. It just felt like the ref was really on edge and squirrely.
And like he just seemed to be too much of the fight. Like he was too involved.
Yeah.
You know, which I'm all for refs being on their shit, but this was a little bit too much on his shit.
The ending felt like the natural progression of a dude who was there all fight trying to insert himself into the action.
Yeah.
And that happened multiple times tonight, not just with that referee. I forget that guy's name, but it's the one that like pulls on his ear, like does the nose thing, and then like looks at the camera. But Leon Roberts also had some weird moments in the Saperbeck Safarov versus Nikolay Nima fight early on, where he warned for the fence grabs like 17 times, then took a point. Saperbeck still did it afterward, didn't take any more points or even warn him anymore. And Saperbeck threw that elbow when he was breaking it up to take the point. And Roberts he had a rough time with that fight, and he had a rough time with another fight too. So that's, what the fuck to the referees.
It was so bad that Roberts tried to walk in between the cage and Safarov's hand to stop him from grabbing the fence, like put his own body in there, and still didn't like stop the action and take a point until it was like an illegal elbow. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? When you
have the commentators calling you a dirty fighter, like real time, you're fucking up out there. You know what I mean? Like you're really fucking up. That's definitely like the what the fuck moment of the card for me, is just how blatantly why Safarov was not disqualified is beyond me. Yeah. He should have been disqualified for how many times he grabbed the fence. Like, period. Like, you want to warn him? Fine. Like, how many warnings do you get? Like, how many warnings are you allowed before a point's deducted? And then how many more before either another point's deducted or just you're disqualified? Like, that was borderline. Like, if they would have disqualified him, I'd have been cool. I'd be like, yeah, like this dude is obviously can't stop grabbing the fence, and he's using it to not get taken down or to like get out of his leg lock, or to like pin your opponent against the cage. It's bullshit. Like it's bullshit. So now he has another win, so he'll probably get another fight. But I feel like this dude's fun to watch when he's losing, so I'm not entirely pissed that he's going to stay around. Because like he's one of those dudes who will kick someone and hurt himself. You know what I mean? Like, so he's. I'm expecting shit shows out of this guy. So in terms of that, it's fun for the chaos factor. But like in terms of like a legitimate, prospect contender, like no sir, no fucking sir.
And if he wasn't going to get disqualified for the fence grabs, the elbow after Roberts like paused the action, that's a disqualification right there. That reminded me of Walt Harris versus Mark Godbeer sort of situation. The referee's trying to come in to call a stop because of a foul, and there's an offender who lands a strike while the ref's trying to intervene. That's a disqualification. I don't know why that didn't happen. So, yeah, that's a definite what the fuck.
I feel like this was worse than that Walt Harris thing because at least with the Walt Harris thing, the ref didn't touch him. Here, the ref was like almost dry humping this dude. Yeah. Like, stop! Like screaming at this dude to stop, and he just wouldn't. And anyone that dialed in, it's a cause for concern. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
And you see there was a GIF or a short video that I think Kaposa, the Grabaka hitman, or somebody related to him, posted on Twitter of Saperbeck before getting into the UFC, like punched a guy at a weigh-in face-off. So this isn't the first time that this guy's done something egregious.
Oh yeah, no, he's a little unhinged.
Credit to Paul Felder for calling him out, though.
Yep.
Felder was pulling no punches on that. He was keeping it a billion.
Yeah, he was a little shook after the first round from all of the fouls. He had to. Second round, Paul's like, you know what? I got to say something positive. I got to kind of change the narrative here, and let's say Saperbeck's landing some good ground and pound right now.
Yeah.
So good on Paul for that. Is that your what the fuck of the card, Eddie, for the Saperbeck? Or do you want to do another?
Yeah, it's got to be. Like, it's for the ref more so for not disqualifying him, but because I mean it's the ref's job to keep everyone safe in there.
Yeah, a lot of what the fuck going on in that fight. So yeah, I'll let you do the sign off if you want, Eddie or Zane, Major Zane.
All right, yeah. You can find me on Twitter at TheZaneTime. You can find Eddie on Twitter at TheEddieMercado. You can find both of us over at BloodyElbow.com. We're going to jump over and do the 6th round. That'll drop tomorrow. Come find that over on Bloody Elbow Presents on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, all that good stuff. Subscribe to us there, like us there, all that. You'll find all our other shows there. If I Did It, Care Don't Care, Level Change Podcast, Mookie Crookie Show, Vivisection, all that good stuff. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot for being here, guys.
Yep.
Always a pleasure. And the gray shirt looks good on you, my friend.
Hey, thanks a lot. So because the last few weeks, Eddie, you've been commenting on my shirt. I decided to wear my UFC shirt today because only a person who's going to watch the middle of the day UFC with like the bottom tier of the roster is going to wear a UFC shirt. So I had to do that.
You should have been like, because I am now officially a UFC shill, so I am rocking them hard. That'd have been way better.
Yeah.
I'm rocking my Massive Apparel, MIA Mindset in Action. Massive Apparel. It's owned by former Navy SEAL or retired Navy SEAL Mitch Aguiar, also a pro MMA fighter. Go check him out. MassiveApparel.com. They also have a supplement line. All right, I'm out of here, Brian. Thank you. I'll see you next week, maybe.
Yep, of course. See you later, Eddie.
Adios.
All right, for the fight fans that are still here watching the show, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, as usual, I'm going to be your host as we go through the rest of this fight card. We can talk about the action. The main things that we're going to do is I'll give my what the fuck of the card. I'll give my rating from 1 to 10, and also you and I both are going to give our post-fight bonuses. Keep in mind that because we're not actually giving anybody any money at all, we're going to give out 5 post-fight bonuses, or a total of $250,000. So you can give a fight of the night and 3 post-fight bonuses if you'd like. You could give 2 fights of the night and 1 post-fight bonus, or you could give just 5 post-fight bonuses. Whatever you want to do, you tell me about that in the comment section down below. Actually, it's to the side of me. It's over there. And I'll read them off, and we'll go through this card. So, of course, let's start with what I would give the night of fights on a 1 to 10 scale. I'm sorry I didn't see your guys' 1 to 10s while Eddie and Zane were giving theirs because I was trying to focus on listening to them, show them the respect that they deserve as my co-hosts and everything. I would give the night of fights a 5 out of 10. Just middle of the road. It, like Zane said, it was fantastic that The fight started at noon my time, got over at about 6 my time, Central Time, the Chicago time zone. Finished with a fantastic knockout. The middle of the card, decision, submission, decision, knockout. I mean, that sort of thing doesn't lend itself to be a very good night of fights, but it ended really well, and I like that, and it got over super early. Now, getting back to you guys' comment section, Alan C., John Smith, Brainstorm, Loser, John Doe, Linda, whatever. You're all talking about a post-fight fight between Jorge Gamebred Masvidal and Leon Rocky Edwards. I was not aware of this. So while I try to stall a little bit, let me find this news on the Twitter machine. I don't see this. I don't see it. Holy crap. Where are you guys getting that information? One, maybe I'll jump on my personal YouTube channel after this. It's Flying Brian Show, and we can discuss this post-fight fight and everything. That's insane. I didn't see that coming. I'm kind of caught off guard. 44 Young said Masvidal was punching Edwards backstage. Askren tweeted it. Seems credible. Said abandoned reality. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the information. There's a video on YouTube. Jacob Suarez. Okay, I'm caught off guard. I don't think we can talk about this. John Smith, go on Twitter and type in Masvidal. There's no post-fight press conference because of the fight. During Masvidal's interview. Wow. Like I said, I'm caught so off guard, I can't really talk about it because I haven't seen it. We can speculate all that we want. If I don't know, I feel bad doing that too. Let's say you guys are saying the 4G Beast said he hit him with a 3-piece. Pieced him up with like a 5-punch combo, says Dave Kula. Can we get a post-fight press conference post-show? ESPN MMA just posted it. I'm going to pause for a second. I'll come back and edit this video later. And I'll cut out this part where I'm going to not talk for a second. Look it up. What are you doing? All right. I'm looking up the video. Here we go.
Let's talk about that opening sequence.
Okay. Laura Sanko says, let's talk about that opening sequence. Masvidal walks away from the interview. He's walking around a barrier. Masvidal landed 3 punches on Leon Edwards, and that's it. Huh. I want to see more of that video. One, I'm sure all of you guys do too. Mike Bisping looks scared when they cut back to the studio, says Jacob Suarez. Okay, so now we've seen it. My first question is, Jorge Masvidal got maybe the biggest win of his career. Was that Masvidal's first main event spot? Let's see, mate. No. If you go to Jorge Masvidal's Wikipedia right now, and it says on March 16th, 2019, UFC Fight Night Till vs. Masvidal. Masvidal TKO'd Leon Edwards at 15 seconds of round number 1, right after knocking out Darren Till in the main event. That's what it says on. That's what it says on Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure that Masvidal has never headlined a UFC event. He did headline against Gilbert Melendez in 2011 on a Strikeforce event, but he never headlined a UFC event. Oh no, he did. He headlined against Benson Henderson in 2015. My bad. But he lost. So this is Masvidal's first win in a main event, right? He gets a knockout over a hyped opponent. His opponent was a 2-1 favorite. He's in a post-fight interview talking to Laura Sanko, who, might I say, is a very good-looking girl. You might want to pay attention to her. And you decide to run off and you could call it an assault against Leon Edwards because it's not sanctioned, it's not inside of the ring and everything like that. It kind of takes a little bit away from your performance in the octagon tonight, doesn't it? I mean, he's probably going to not get this $50,000 bonus for the finish or the fight of the night. He could get fined for the athletic commission and be sitting out a while. In his post-fight interview against Darren Till, he talked about how, he loves his family and everything. I don't think that's a very good example for your children. But like Luca Hiddleston says, Edwards versus Masvidal, that's the fight to make all of a sudden. Zane and Eddie were talking about getting Masvidal a title shot against Kamaru Marty, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. Don't think he's getting that. It's going to be Covington. What to do with Jorge Masvidal? Well, a sanctioned fight inside of that 8-sided cage against Leon Rocky Edwards. Thugs. No, I'm not reading that comment. Abandoned reality. This is why they need Megan O'Leary to do the post-fight interviews while Joseph Benavidez stands out of frame, kind of being the bodyguard. Brainstorm says he's too gangster for his own good. Bark and Starfish says Till is overrated. I agree. He's now on a 2-fight losing streak, got knocked out both times. I mean, Darren Till got the title shot with a decision win over Stephen Thompson. I thought he definitely lost that fight. Marsby says that instead of getting a bonus taken away from him, you should get 2 post-fight bonuses. Devil Ants says, where can I find the post-fight press conference? I'm hearing they're not doing a post-fight press conference because of the backstage fight between Jorge Masvidal and Leon Rocky Edwards. But I'm not really sure. Who's Askren going to fight now, says Rumpelstiltskin. I think that probably just do the rematch with Robbie Lawler. Somebody can't stand me, can't stand this guy, whatever. While we try to collect ourselves from that action that we just saw in the backstage press conference, says Abandoned Reality said Leon won, but bad night for him. The crowd hated him and tried to talk smack to a real street guy, and it backfired. Leon gets his win bonus, but his pride is shattered. Jorge versus Woodley, I suppose. Marcus McGay says, what did you make of the decisions? So let's talk about some of the decisions. We had Leon Edwards defeating Gunnar Nelson via split decision, 29-27, 29-28, 28-29 on the other side for Gunnar Nelson. Before that, we had Dominic Reyes defeating Volkan Oezdemir via split decision, 28-29. That one went for Oezdemir. And 29-28, 29-28. I thought that the decision for Dominic Reyes versus Oezdemir should have went Oezdemir's way, but I looked at the stats, and the stats don't tell the whole story, but in the first round, Oezdemir outlanded Reyes, and he also got a takedown, so that would be Volkan's round. But rounds 2 and 3, Reyes was the one that outlanded Oezdemir. And honestly, that fight was like 90% less entertaining than I thought it was going to be. It was razor thin, could have gone either way. I'm fine with Reyes getting the decision. What I would give a what the fuck of the card to would go to Dominic Reyes for calling out Johnny Bones after that rather lackluster performance, in my opinion. Sure, he beat a guy that once had a title shot, but he wasn't very impressive. And I seriously think that Johnny Walker would just mop the floor with Dominic Reyes, finish him in the first round. So what the fuck goes to Dominic Reyes for calling out Johnny Bones after a split decision victory that I thought should have gone to Volkan Oezdemir. Now, the decision for Leon Edwards versus Gunnar Nelson, yes, the right guy won, but in no fucking world did Gunnar Nelson deserve one of the judges' scorecards to go his way. I know that Dan Hardy was all over Gunnar Nelson's nutsack, saying that he was doing everything. Gunnar Nelson got outlanded like 50 to 17 or some shit in that fight. And Edwards even controlled the fight on the canvas for a longer stretch of time in the first round. I thought round 1 and 2 was clearly Leon Edwards. Round 3 was going to be Edwards right up until Gunnar Nelson secured a mount with just seconds to go in the third round in the entire fight. Sure, it's not a good look for Leon Edwards to finish the entire fight on his back being mounted, But I clearly thought Leon Edwards had the first 2 rounds, and a 29-28 for Gunnar Nelson was kind of egregious. And that goes in the same vein of what we were talking about with Eddie Mercado and Zane Simon, with the referees doing some goofy shit tonight. The judges had some goofy shit tonight. But I honestly think every time we go to the UK, to Europe, for a fight card, the commentators are homers. They're always like favoriting the hometown person. Like, they were really on Volkan Özdemir's jock during his fight. They were all over Gunnar Nelson's jock, except for the Irish Dragon Paul Felder. He's a fucking amazing commentator, and he was not playing favorites tonight. I'm not, I think in general, the commentators love their hometown fighters, and they call their action way too much. Another possibility for what the fuck the card was when they talked about the cheese grater in the Reyes Özdemir fight for like 2 minutes. What the fuck? But the judging is weird. The reffing is strange. Yeah, but whatever. Before those 2 fights, the decisions, we had Nathaniel Wood showing out against Jose Alberto Quinones, and Quinones had controlled his opponents with grappling in his previous 2 outings, his previous 3 outings, getting the victories. Tonight, Nathaniel Wood got the better of the grappling exchanges, ended up submitting Jose Quinones in the second round with a rear naked choke. Now, Nathaniel Wood is 3-0 in the UFC, all 3 submission victories. What are we talking about? Volkan got mugged, says Rumpelstiltskin. Loser said they gave Bisping the win over both Henderson and Anderson Silva. Let me touch on this for a second. Somebody else said that Bisping legitimately won both those fights. I'm sorry. Now, I wanted Bisping to lose both of those fights. My favorite fighter is Anderson Silva. That's why I got the black and yellow background. That's why my logo is what it is. I thought that Bisping legitimately deserved the decision in both of those fights. Anderson Silva did not do enough in 3 rounds to defeat Bisping. Sure, he got the knockout at the end of round 4, I think it was, round 3 or 4. The very next round, though, Bisping came out and boxed him up. So props to Michael Bisping for that. Speaking of which, Michael Bisping is set to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. They announced it tonight. Fantastic for him. He truly is a pioneer. He's a Rocky story. I did not think he was going to get the knockout victory to get the belt against Luke Rockhold in their rematch. The first round finish with that left hook Larry was something of beauty. He's been around the sport for a really, really long time, gritted it out, got better and better even when he got older and kind of slower. Props to Michael Bisping for getting that post-fight bonus, or getting into the Hall of Fame. Speaking of post-fight bonuses, I think this is the time where we need to give our post-fight bonuses for this event. Before the Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Alberto Quinones, we had Claudio Silva versus Danny Roberts. And as I talk about that fight, I'd love for you guys in the comment section to tell me, in the live chat, to tell me who you would give your post-fight bonuses. Remember, we're giving 5 of them, or a total of $250,000. So Claudio Silva versus Danny Roberts. Silva early and often would throw big strikes to get in tight on Roberts to get a takedown, and he got takedowns pretty much at will. He would work his way to mount or side control and then look for an arm triangle choke. And both times in round 1 and 2 that Silva was trying to lock in this triangle choke, he didn't quite have it, like his grip nice, and Roberts was doing a good job like getting away from it. And both times Roberts was able to get out of it, get on top, and then rain down some decent ground pound on Silva. When the fight got back to the feet, Roberts was landing really good combinations and seemed to hurt Silva. At one point, it was Silva rolling his own ankle that really put a highlight on it, looking like Roberts was hurting Silva. But third round, Silva gets the fight to the floor. Roberts is on top. Silva's looking for triangles, ends up getting an armbar off of his back, and sure, it was a questionable stoppage by the referee because Roberts didn't tap. He didn't verbally tap. He just kind of let out a squeal. I had Silva in a parlay with Nathaniel Wood for plus 128 for 5 units, and it cashed because of that referee. I think Silva was on his way to winning a decision anyway, but that sucks for it sucks for Danny Roberts. Bonuses. Here we go. Luca Hiddleston says KO of the night performance goes to Masvidal. Darren N says Uzdemir, Edwards, Masvidal, and Silva. Marshall. What? Uzdemir, Marshall, Edwards, Masvidal, and Silva. Masvidal, so Marcus McGahee says Masvidal, Till for fight of the night. Wood, Ige, and Grundy getting the performance bonuses. I like that a lot. Rationality Law says the only bonus Masvidal gonna get tonight is a fine and a bonus 6 month suspension. JV says Masvidal seems like a gatekeeper to me. Good enough to be a problem for anybody, for anyone and everyone, but not good enough to win the belt. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win the belt either, and paid programming agrees with that. Loser says Masvidal won't get fined more than 10K max. My post-fight bonuses. I think I'm just going to give the post-fight bonus, performance bonus to Leon Edwards, Nathaniel Wood, and Dan Ige. Fight of the night, I'm going to give to Leon Edwards versus Gunnar Nelson. Maybe. And if not, you know what? I'm going to give 5 performance bonuses. Masvidal, Wood, Silva, Ige, Grundy. You got to finish tonight. You got an extra $50,000. Let's go to the Twitter machine and check and see what the real ones were. If we can. Wow, Brett Okamoto from ESPN MMA just said some crazy shit. Not crazy, but interesting. I don't see the real post-fight bonuses because I don't think we're having a post-fight press conference. Shaheen Al-Shadi from MMAfighting.com says Laura Sanko reports on ESPN Plus that Leon Edwards got a cut from Masvidal's extracurricular punches and that both men have now left the arena. No post-fight pressers with either. Okay. Well, that's it. Jay, you goof. Meatball was on point. Early in the night, Molly McCann got a decision victory over Priscilla Cachoeira. But in the third round, Molly McCann got her ass beat. She got her eye really fucked up. I think it was her left eye got just fucking huge and swollen and shut. I thought it could have been a 10-8 round in favor of Priscilla Cachoeira. But as soon as the final bell rang before the decision, after the final round was over, Molly McCann acted like she won a goddamn world championship. Jumped out of the octagon, was screaming and like, I'm the fucking best. Like, okay, great. You clearly won the first 2 rounds. You're going to win a decision. It could have been a draw, maybe. But you got your ass beat in the third round. Hard. I don't think you get to act that way. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's not impressive to me when you act that way. Like, be humble. When you get your ass beat in the third round but still win a decision. That's what I want to see. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, actually. I apologize for trying to make somebody... John Smith says chill, it's her first up. I know. I'm not trying to tell her what to do or be a jerk, but it's just, I don't like seeing it. So, Michael Clipper says Molly didn't get beat up that bad in the third round. Let's just look at the stats for that third round real fast, and then we're going to get out of here probably for the evening, for the day. Stats per round. What? Okay, maybe I'm crazy. Significant strikes, okay, per round. Significant strikes per round. Stats per round. Here we go. Man, the new UFC site sucks. Okay, Molly McCann actually outlanded Priscilla Cachoeira in the third round. All right, my bad. Yeah. I should be more patient with her as well, Michael. She didn't get beat that bad, actually, in the third round. She outstruck Priscilla Cachoeira 38-22, but she did get her eye messed up. But outside of that, I guess she could have won the round. All right. Well, honestly, I wasn't paying that close attention. It wasn't that exciting of a fight. But let's get out of here for the night, guys. Please give the video a thumbs up. It means a lot to me. You know, a ton of people come and give it thumbs down after the fact. I realize we might differ on our opinions about the Molly McCann thing. But I respect your opinions, and I hope that, you know, we can agree on some things in the past. Marcus McGahee wants to talk about Mark Diakiese versus Joseph Duffy. We'll do that, and then we seriously got to get out of here. The bosses are going to be mad at me for going too far past 30 minutes. And Lanzian Mello says, post-fight press conferences started. Mark Diakiese came into the fight with Joseph Duffy on a 3-fight losing streak, and then kind of styled on Joseph Duffy. In the first round, he hit a lead elbow uppercut style on Joseph Duffy that knocked Duffy down. Was fucking amazing. Duffy couldn't get any takedown attempts. Mark Diakiese was out of the way of all of Joseph Duffy's strikes. The spinning attacks, the push kick to the thigh of Duffy, and then like a spinning hook kick didn't land from Mark Diakiese, but that's what we want to see from him. It's super fun to watch. The high volume takedowns that Diakiese has shown outside of the UFC and showed against the guy in his UFC debut. He showed against Joseph Duffy. He looked fantastic. It was a decision victory. He cried afterward, and I'm glad that the UFC decided to give Mark Diakiese a chance after going on a 3-fight losing streak. It was gorgeous. He looked good as fuck, and I look forward to seeing his next fight, no matter who's it against. Has he fought? He hasn't fought Groovy Lando Venata. Man, I want to see Mark Diakiese versus Groovy Lando so bad. That's what I want to book. Anyway, Nat Bang said you could see how much it meant for Diakiese. It was emotional. You know, I bet fans of his like might have cried along with him. He bawled. I mean, he didn't just like shed a tear. He was fucking bawling. Your YouTube description has the info for the last fight card, not this one, by the way. Thanks, man. I'll fix it. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thumb the video up. I really need it. My goal is a 100. And I'll see you guys for the top 3 fights to watch for UFC Nashville, which is between Anthony Showtime Pettis and Wonder Man Stephen Thompson. I'll see you next week for the post-fight show. Also for that event, UFC Nashville, going down on the 23rd of March. Namaste.